Hello and welcome back to CEO.CA's Inside the Boardroom. My name is James Fatham and today I'm joined by Thomas Ullrich, CEO and Director of Aston Holdings. They trade on the venture under the ticker BAY. Thomas, it's great to have you here today.
It's great to be here, thanks.
So if we could kick things off with the elevator pitch, you give us a bit of the history of Aston Bay.
Yeah, well, really what Aston Bay is all about is, really finding high-grade copper assets in North America and then crystallizing the value in those assets as soon as possible. That's really what we're all about. And, our main assets are located in Nunavut. We have our flagship project is our Storm Copper project. That one is, we have a partner on that. We are now in a joint venture with an Australian ASX-listed company, American West Metals, and very happy to have such an excellent partner on this project. They are aggressively advancing that project. They are able to raise funds and spend a significant amount of money to advance it. We are looking to get that project to a mine stage, in the very near future. And the great thing for Aston Bay shareholders is that we are free carry to bankable feasibility study, so we have no expenditures for Aston Bay shareholders. Our other big project, we just picked this one up in the last couple of months, very similar to Storm in the sense that both these projects are these large sediment-hosted style copper deposits. These are the ones that you find in Central Africa. They can be absolutely large and huge, and very high grade. Our new project is actually even more like the African copper belt projects. It's called Epworth. We're earning in on that one ourselves, and that's where we're going to be spending our time and money this summer. And in addition to those Canadian projects, they are very far north, but certainly we can only operate those seasonally.
Yeah,
but we have these other projects down in Virginia that we're allowed. We can work year round. We have a very high grade gold vein, very unusual for that area. It's more like a Kirkland Lake style vein, ounce plus material. A nice white clean quartz vein, and we also have some base metal projects that we're looking at. Copper, zinc, cobalt plays there.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that overview. We'll go back into each of those projects in just a moment, but I want to recap. The last year at Aston Bay, it's been quite the year. Your stock is up kind of 4x year on year. In that time, you've had some big movements off the back of impressive drill results. Tell us, as a CEO, what has that year been like for you? And maybe just a recap of some of the work that's been done over the last 12 months.
Yeah, well, certainly it's been a bit of a roller coaster, but mostly on the way up. So certainly that's great. As you say, at the beginning of last year, I picked up some of my own stock at 1.5 and 2 cents. So very happy to be sitting at 12.5, 13 cents today. But yeah, and obviously with our partner advancing our Storm project, we had some very, very exciting results. We essentially confirmed the thesis that we'd always had, that there was potentially more copper, hidden in the subsurface there. Now, I think the market kind of got away from us on that one. They kind of misunderstood our excitement there and thought it was going to be perhaps a thicker, higher grade than when we actually saw. So the stock price did run very, very high, and there's some exciting days at the end of summer last year. I'm sure anybody watching that stock remembers it well. I was in the middle of financing at the time, so I certainly remember well. It made it very difficult, to sort that out. But the stock ran up, and then of course, ran boomerang back down. Of course, I think a little too far, but nevertheless, we were able to close the financing, get the money needed, for us to continue, for the rest of the year, and we've essentially almost doubled, since certainly since the beginning of the year again. So very happy to be in that position. Certainly not every exploration stock out there can say that. And so overall a really exciting year, I think, for Aston Bay shareholders, with the with that news, that Storm, and and it really goes to show you, really, the kind of excitement that that we can generate, with these kinds of deposits, say this is the style of mineralization. It's these things, certainly have that potential to be very large, and I think we're we're back at it right now. We're actually drilling again right now up at Storm with our partner, and we'll have another summer program as well. And it's going to be another exciting year.
Yeah, it's funny. I think you might be the first person to have been thrown off by such a rapid share price appreciation last year, I guess, due to the fact that the financing was open in that time. I want to talk a bit more about the Storm Copper project. 43-101 is coming imminently. The exploration and development work is being funded entirely by your partner, American West. Can you tell us how that deal came about and maybe what you're expecting for the 43-101 and what comes after that?
Well, with Aston Bay, with our Storm project, we've partnered with majors before. We had a deal with Antofagasta before. Actually, I was with Antofagasta at that time. And then subsequently after I joined the company, we got a deal with BHP. They're a fantastic partner. Unfortunately, the size requirements for BHP, they were just not able to take it forward. We had a shot at Aston Bay at developing some targets ourselves. How it is in exploration, it doesn't always work on the first try. But luckily enough, I was able to find a partner. I'd always been looking. Obviously, it is onerously expensive to operate in the Arctic, and I'd always looking for a partner to help share those costs at least. I was lucky enough. I'd always been looking for that right partner, and been lucky enough to find it in American West. I love American West as a partner. They're Australian, so they are aggressive. They have access to the Australian markets that still support exploration. They certainly have their let's say their head screwed on straight. They know what they want to do, and that is attack that project from two fronts. First, on that development front, the Australians have that do it attitude. They want to mine it, right? So to advance that portion of the project, because we've always known that we've had this really high grade mineralization right to surface. The top 100 meters, it's multiple percent copper, tens of meters. It's absolutely spectacular. When you see it there, to be able to advance that towards a mine is a fantastic business model. We think that with the type of mine that we would like, that we envisage putting in. We think that we can do that, on a very compressed time frame, and for a very, very low capex. The reason for that is because, the idea is to put essentially an ore sorting or an upgrading kind of an operation in a very small footprint. One that doesn't use any water in the process, doesn't have any water or effluent discharge, doesn't produce sulfide tailings. Can all be contained, in a nice modular units, right? Essentially a bolt together kind of an operation.
Okay.
It's very, very cost effective, and in terms of the footprint and the impact, we think it's about as minimal as it can be. And so again, that will allow us for that we think compressed time frame permitting and to get into production.
If you had to estimate, what does that compressed timeline to production look like?
I can't really say about that. Our partner is shooting for a 3-year time frame for that. Okay. So that's what they've stated, in their talks. So I encourage them to do the work that will demonstrate that is possible. Get it done, and then but that's just half of the story. Yeah. So
the other half of the story, look at the Epworth project.
Oh, no. I haven't left Storm yet.
Okay.
The other half is he's still at Storm. That near-surface mineralization is fantastic, right? And really what it is, it's an indication that there's a very, very efficient mineralization process. See it. You have boulders of, chalcocite, 80% copper, right? It's clearly the copper moving around in that system there. When you have that kind of a system, flushing through those faults, the plumbing systems there, that is, an indication that you could have other mineralization hidden in the subsurface. Like everything we know about that storm, really, is either we know it because it was sticking out of the ground, or we found it in some very shallow geophysics and then drilling that we've right. But we have over 2,000 meters of potential stratigraphy that could be mineralized here. So if there's anywhere now that deep, 2,000 meters, a bit deep, to be looking these early stages, certainly. But in that top 500 meters, if you have one of these faults that we know they're flushing copper metal back fluids through it, if they intersect a permeable horizon where those fluids could percolate through, you could mineralize those stratigraphic horizons. And really, that is a story of the mineralization in Central Africa. It's the same thing. That's the discovery story at Kamoa-Kakula. They knew they had copper at the surface. It's just a matter of finding, well, where could that copper, those copper-bearing fluids have essentially mineralized, a layer of the stratigraphy. And so that's the other half of the story at Storm is that hunt for that, that potential layer. And that's what really got the market excited last year. We drilled a couple deep holes. We were actually looking at gravity and targets. Gravity is a little bit, difficult to interpret, but, we had some targets and we drilled and we hit the exact same style of mineralization, the same minerals that we see at the surface, where we know we have tens of meters of multiple percent copper. We're hitting that in the subsurface. Now, we didn't hit tens of meters, we hit a few meters here and there, several meters actually, a few percent copper. But again, that shows you at depth the same process is happening. So now the question is just where, in that subsurface, is it possible that we could have, something with more, greater lateral extents and perhaps sufficient thickness, that could, get us into something that, could rival, those African deposits. And again, we've only looked 100 meters. Now, if we look down to 500 meters, and that's where we're looking right now with the geophysics that we're doing right now, that gives us, just that much more search space, to potentially look and see to make more discoveries. So that's the second half. That's sort of the discovery half. So it's really development and discovery are the two stories up there. And both of them are, we think, paths to, potentially significant value for shareholders.
Okay. And can you recap what is the agreement with American West?
We're well into it. American West spent $10 million to earn 80% interest, and we are at that stage right now. So we are now in an unincorporated joint venture, 80-20. So we are free carried as Aston Bay for all expenditures. So American West has to pony up all the funds, for the projects until we get to a bankable feasibility study.
Okay.
And so, but for Aston Bay shareholders, it's fantastic. We plan on doing 22,000 meters of drilling, both RC delineation drilling and diamond core drilling, for discovery drilling.
Yeah.
And, that program is going to cost, $10 to $14 million. We'll see what the final cost is, but that's half my market cap. And, in one season. So, or two seasons, but 1 year. So that's a potential to add significant value, a great deal, and certainly for our shareholders.
And what is the drilling season of the project, and what are the kind of challenges you operate in there? I mean, obviously very far north in Nunavut.
Yeah, certainly. So you are remote, and so everything either has to come up by ship or plane. So if it's going to come up by ship, you have to think a year ahead and get it up there.
Yeah,
if it's going to come up by plane, you have to pay a lot to do that, right? So that's certainly there are some logistical challenges that way. And then in terms of drilling, diamond drilling, with the fluids, it can be a challenge because it is cold. So like for example, right now you're probably getting close to 0 degrees freezing there. But when it's minus 40, diamond drilling is not it's not easy, and you also have the permafrost. So there are those challenges certainly. But in terms of seasons, we went up at the end of April to open up camp for the spring season, we call it. Well, minus 40 when we went up there for spring.
Yeah.
But it's you can do RC drilling very well. In that temperature, that's not the problem, right? And so that's great. And geophysics is great to do at that. Ground geophysics is good to do at that time too. Okay. You can zip around on snowmobile, so logistically that's very good. And then for your summer drilling season, we'll take a break. We'll let things melt, and then come back. Probably end of June, and sort of get that. July, August, and you get into September pretty easy, And so, there are these challenges, but, there are other mines have gone into production up there. Polaris, Caminco, Tech Caminco's lead zinc mine, that ran for 20 years from the 80s into the early 2000s. When they were delineation drilling up there, they were doing it for, drilling 8 months out of the year. That was a decline underground mine, but they mined year round and ship seasonally. So, if we get to that mining stage, we don't have to speculate whether it's possible. It's been done. It's been done and off to the east as well at Nunavut. So it's
very exciting. Very high potential. I do want to quickly speak about the other projects.
Sure.
Epworth, copper, silver, cobalt, zinc, polymetallic. Walk us through, what drew you to that project, how you acquired it, and then you said that's where the focus of the
our spend.
of Aston Bay spending is going to be for this season. So what do you have planned there?
Yeah. So we're very excited to pick up a project that that Aston Bay can operate. And essentially what we really want to do is essentially use what we've learned at Storm, both sort of technically on the geologic side, because what we are looking at Epworth, it's one of these Central African style copper sedimentary deposits, and really actually it's even more like the stuff in Africa. So very excited to pick this one up. But at Storm, we learned a lot technically. Geologically. Also, we learned, I certainly learned a lot about business and how to advance the project. I'm very happy how it turned out. I wish it didn't take quite as long to get that partner, get the right partner on it. But now with this new project, I think, we can look at it again. It has spectacular geologic potential. They've been picking up boulders of, I think it's 61% copper and like 5.6 kilograms per ton silver. These are absolutely spectacular.
Yeah.
Some nice cobalt, great zinc numbers as well. Actually, some nice gold, 3 grams per ton gold, which is, any of these things would be a nice bit of gravy to go along with whatever the main, your main metal is. And there's also, some good, good cobalt as well, 0.17% cobalt. That's a good start. None of these things have ever been chased up. Nobody cared about cobalt, in the 90s. And it's a different game these days, though, right? So, really what we have is incredible number of surface showings. Again, very similar to the Congo, or Central Africa, where you have these, again, an indication of a very significant and efficient mineralizing process that, we can clearly see at the surface because that's the easiest spot to see it. The question is, again, did these faults, these plumbing systems, did they intersect, a horizon that could be, hidden at depth right now? That again could have those more laterally extensive and thick zones of mineralization. And it's a kind of a very simple sort of geologic question to ask. The answer is difficult always, and it's a natural system. Geology always makes it difficult for you. Nature always makes it difficult. But the idea though is to what we'd like to do this year is come do some probably airborne geophysics.
Okay.
We just closed an early first tranche of a flow-through financing that we have open right now. So we've guaranteed $1.38 million. We already got that in the treasury. And what we want to do is airborne geophysics and some follow-up groundwork mapping. Because again, it's a sort of structural, geologic, and geophysical problem.
Yeah.
Just figure out what does the subsurface look like. Where could that mineralization be hiding? And then the idea to come back, probably not this year. I think we'll probably wait till next year. But again, we have a much longer season where, we're over 1,000 kilometers south of Storm, so it's sort of big optical for us up there. It's still only about 500 kilometers north of Yellowknife. So at all. The season's a bit longer, so we could technically drill at the end of this year. We have to raise more money for that, of course. But we'll see how it plays out and how it works. But it's again one of these projects that just has that potential to be absolutely huge, right? And that's what we love the big and the high grade, because for both of these probably all our projects really is it's critical metals, large and high grade. This is what mining companies want. This is because we're not a mining company. The company really is just me. I have a half-time CFO. I have no skills and no urge to be a miner. Yeah. What we want to do, our business is to again find those projects, work them up, put enough value on them, and then, get them to the next tier that can really, take it,
Yeah.
and do that as quickly as possible.
So you mentioned that, with the Copperstone project, you kind of wish that you might have been able to find a partner earlier. When you're looking at Epworth, what's your vision there? Are you looking to bring in a partner as soon as a good one becomes available? Do you have a certain amount of work that you envisage to all that?
Well, it all depends on your luck with and skill, obviously, with the geology and with the finding it. If you hit with the drill, obviously you're going to add significant value. We want to add, you want to add as much value before you start taking it to the next step, right?
Yeah.
And of course it's a balance again, because you're using all your own money, your shareholders' money to do it. So you have to balance that off. But certainly if, when things are going good, and there's been a few examples, of companies that have just been able to essentially advance the projects themselves without having a partner, and it gets to the point where you can have, a massive sale, and just sell the project for a fantastic gain. You will have to see how it develops, but it is a balancing act. So, you gotta play that.
Well, looking forward to seeing how it develops. I do want to just quickly touch on the Buckingham Gold project in Virginia. What attracted you to that project, and how does it maybe complement the other assets?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, obviously working up north, short field season. It's difficult to run a company with just such a short field season. So we were always looking for some assets someplace warmer. I'd known about these assets in Virginia. They're actually it was Don Taylor, the geo who started up Arizona Mining, and sold the Taylor deposit to South 32 a few years ago. Or $6 billion or something. Fantastic win there. But, Don is a proven mine finder and a great geo. He had another company, privately held company, that was looking at projects in Virginia, both gold and base metals. He thought it had fantastic, unexplored potential, and I agreed. And we just kind of got together and sort of brought his company into ours. It allowed us to work in the off season. Down there, and we did make. We've already made a couple of really, I think, spectacular discoveries. We have this very high grade gold vein. It's an ounce plus material over meter to 2 meters, vertical vein, perfectly clean white quartz. With a nice coarse grained gold. The kind of the project has fantastic ESG qualities to it. Underground mine. A simple gravity separation process, right? We've only done, actually really only a small amount of drilling on it, but we've demonstrated we have at least 125 meters of a potential ore shoot, strike length of an ore shoot. We've only drilled down about 90 meters, but we have about almost 2 kilometers of potential strike length that we haven't even investigated yet. So we're actually just doing the preliminary work on that right now, and that's really just soil sampling and rock sampling along there. But what we would like to do is potentially by the end of this year, organize a drill program to get down there and test the down dip extents of that potential ore shoot, and see if we can find potentially more ore shoots along the way. If that's there, well, then that I think has a potential to be a quality project for Aston Bay. And then the other thing we actually have a base metals belt, a couple counties to the west of our gold project, and that is we've demonstrated with some drilling that. There are large SEDEX style of deposits. It's on that spectrum of low temperature base metal mineralization. The project that we drilled was essentially a 2 kilometers by 1 kilometer system. Same mineralization every drill hole. That's a very big system. Unfortunately, we didn't get the grade. I think maybe 1% zinc and some scattering of copper here and there. Not really what we want, but we have another area just north of there, where with some very couple sparse drill holes where we've demonstrated that we have over 2% copper, 5% zinc, and up to 0.24% cobalt. Those are all spectacular numbers. So we know in this belt we have size. We know elsewhere we have grade. We're trying to find that spot that gets those two things together. And we have one project that we hope to sign up this summer as well, and get together, have a drill program, 2 drill programs with the same contract, test these 2 projects and see if let's see if there's something big enough there, and high grade enough to make it work for Aston Bay.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I think it's been a great overview of the projects. I think just to wrap up, if you could, I don't know, give us the unique value proposition. When retail investors are looking at exploration stories, either in Nunavut or similar market cap to Aston Bay, what sets you apart? What should people be keeping in mind when they're looking at the story?
Yeah, well, I think the thing that really sets us apart, it is our business model, and that is, we want that high grade. We want it in the best jurisdictions, which is really just Canada and the U.S. And our business model really is to find these things, put enough meat on the bone, right, to add the value. And it's in that discovery phase that we think you add the most value over the shortest period of time.
Yeah.
And then we make no bones about it. Our business is to get it to that next level. Now, whether that's partnering, selling the project, or adding capacity if needed, to take it to the next level. We need to crystallize that value for our shareholders, in the shortest period of time. Like, none of us are getting any younger, and the investors in this space, are, I think, eager, let's say, to add value as quickly as possible. And that's our business model, and we're doing it, on at least 3 projects right now, at different stages of development. And we think that with Storm, that is a win in progress. It's an example of validation of our business model. And, we just want to do it again and do it again and do it again each time, keep climbing that ladder.
Well, certainly sounds like there's a lot in the works, and it's going to be an exciting year for Aston Bay. Thanks so much for joining us today, Tom.
Thank you.